What's up guys, Ghost here bringing you another Battlefield 3 tip today, this time about jet target priorities. So this is primarily going out to people who aren't that great in jets. You know, maybe they've unlocked rocket pods, but maybe most of their gameplay has been in jet air superiority, and they haven't had much experience actually playing Conquest, where there are things like helicopters and anti-AA tanks and anti-AA guns and all that sort of thing. They're just really used to dodging heat seekers. So first of all, if you're the kind of person who jumps in a jet just to get from A to B, like you jump in the jet, fly over an objective, and eject out of there, like, please don't do that. I mean, I'm not one for telling people how to play the game, and I mean, you bought the game, you paid your own money for it, and it's your prerogative to do whatever the hell you want. But if you want your team to win, then it's probably in your interest to actually let somebody who wants to actually fly the jet and enjoys doing that and is actually decent at it, rather than just using it as a means of transportation. But with that said, there are plenty of people I see who get in the jet, and you know, I'm not at all shooting down players who aren't great in the jet. By all means, if you want to learn how to fly the jet better, go for it, you know. But I see so many people just fly straight up into the air. They see a tank, or even, you know, just some infantry, some random target, and they'll fly straight down and shoot at it. And then, of course, the enemy jet will fly in, or an enemy heli will lock in with heat seekers and take him out straight away. And that's our jet gone, especially in rush mode, as the jets are so goddamn powerful. They are definitely the most powerful tool that you get in rush, and in the right hands, they can wreak havoc on the enemy team, as you will see in this video. So I see plenty of jet tutorials out there, and as you guys probably know, I've made plenty of tutorials myself, and they always cover things like dogfighting, how to actually engage targets and aim correctly, speed control, and all that sort of thing. But one thing I don't really see many people cover is target prioritization, and you really have to think about that a lot, especially in Conquest, you know. Conquest, you've got two enemy jets, you have an attack helicopter, there's a scout heli, sometimes there's an AA tank, enemy AA, and then I don't even want to think about all the engineers down there with stingers and igglers. So you really have to change the way you engage the enemy based on their position. You know, what I usually do personally, and I'm by no means the best jet pilot out there, I'm, you know, simply decent really, but I like to sort of double back on myself when I take off. So I'll do a 3 or a 180, double back on myself, go in first person mode, and then free look around and just sort of survey the battlefield, see if the enemy jets are up, and if they are, I'll go and try and take them out first. If they're not, then you always have to be thinking about when they're going to spawn. If you know the spawn timer on the enemy jet, you can actually put that on a stopwatch. So for example, now I'm playing Rush on, I'm not sure, I think actually server didn't have normal server settings. I think the jet spawns were a little bit faster, but I believe it's around 1.5 minutes for a jet to spawn. So you can take out the enemy jet, and then boom, you hit your stopwatch for 1.5 minutes, and you don't even have to think about the enemy jet for those 1.5 minutes. You can try and wreak as much havoc on the enemy team as you possibly can, because you know he can't possibly spawn. That is a really good trick, you know. Otherwise, you're always having to sort of look in the direction of their deployment and be like, oh, is the jet going to be spawning? Is it going to be on my tail, you know? But definitely, number one priority, take out enemy jets. Second, you want to be taking out the helicopter, and you want to get above it. It's far easiest to take down an enemy heli if you fly vertically up above it and then swoop down right on top of it. It can move the least then, and you're going to be able to keep it in your sights, and he's also not going to be able to lock you. And engaging these targets sometimes is surprisingly easy, and in other rounds you'll find that you spawn in the jet and you try and get close to one of the enemy jets, and you really can't, you know. Some people just love to sit in the stationary AA on maps like this, like they have an AA on their carrier over there. Some people love to just sit there and try and shoot down enemy aircraft, and I'm not really sure why you would want to do that. It doesn't really appeal to me, at least. I don't think it's that much great fun. But whatever, to each his own. Some people do that, and they will make your life hell, especially if you play on No Shore Canal's 64-player Conquest. Boy, is that AA annoying for the US side. Jesus Christ, I really wish they would nerf that thing. So you have to take things like that into account, because in a dogfight you can use these to your advantage. For example, you can go back to, if you know you've got a guy in your team sitting in the AA, at least make some use of him. You know, if you're in a dogfight, maybe the other guy's a little bit better than you, and you realize that soon enough he's going to get on your tail and he's going to end up killing you. Try to sort of move the momentum of the dogfight over towards your deployment, you know, where you have the AA. Maybe there's somebody in your AA tank, you know, maybe they can help take out that enemy jet. So sort of shift the momentum of that dogfight over to your deployment. And likewise, don't go too close to theirs. You see here in the video that I am flying around quite close to their carrier, and there is a guy in the AA and he's given quite a bit of trouble. But I can see that the jet pilot isn't very good at all in their team, and I'm having no problem taking him out. The same for the heli pilot, so I'm not really worrying about them too much. Although you always have to assume that they're really, really good before you actually know, because you don't really know who's flying the jet or the heli at the end of the day. Now, in a game time like this, we're defending here on Rush, and obviously our objective is to kill as many of the enemy team as possible, and you have to keep that in mind when engaging targets. So, say all the threats are down. As I said before, your number one priority is staying alive. So, say the enemy jet's down, the enemy heli is down, there's nobody really giving you any trouble in an anti-air tank or an anti-air gun, and you're free to do whatever you want. Which targets do you engage? Well, try to engage enemy armor primarily. You see in this video I take down an Amtrak at one point, and that's of no threat to me, but I know it can carry many passengers, and there's 2 or maybe 3 or even more guys in there, and sure enough I take it out and I get 6 kills from that. And there is nothing more juicy or sweet as a jet pilot than getting one of those. That's 6 tickets that you're taking off their team. So don't just think about the threats, think about how can you help your team out the most. Which targets are giving your infantry the most trouble? You know, an Amtrak coming up the beach with 6 guys in it, getting ready to arm that MCOM can be a big pain in the arse. So hopefully next time you jump in a jet, whether you're a good player or not, you're going to, survey the battlefield a little more and think about what you actually do, which targets you engage before you dive down into the action. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button down below. You don't know how much it means to me when you guys, just hit that like button, and when you comment on the video, that's a really, really big help to me. So if you could do that, I would be ever so grateful. If your friends play Battlefield, please point them in my direction. If you've learned something from my channel, hopefully they can too. And I will see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Bye bye.